Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Marriage is Tougher Than Woodpecker Lips podcast. This is Brian, joined by my co host, Paul. We'd like to welcome you to a community meant for the men of the world to share their thoughts and perspectives on marriage. We can learn from each other's experiences and help each other be better husbands. This week on the pod, we'd like to talk to you about transitioning back into real life after vacation.
Before we hop all the way into the episode, we like to say welcome for those who this is the first time checking us out. And if you've been rocking with us for a while, welcome back. If you'd like to go deeper or you feel like this could benefit anyone, please share this episode or like it or subscribe so you don't miss any other episodes. You can search any social media platform, searching Marriage is Tougher. If you'd like to ask us a question or give us a comment, you can go to marriagestougher.com and we have a comment section there. If you'd like to be a guest, fill out that form. Let us know who you are, what you'd like to talk about, and we'll get back to you and get you on the show. Or if you'd like to leave a comment there, you can do so as well. All right, let's hop into this episode.
Yeah. So, just a reminder, we are live on TikTok right now as we're recording. So, if you're listening to the recording, then feel free. It's early on a Saturday morning, but feel free to hop on TikTok on Saturdays with us. Ask questions in the chat. We will attempt to answer them live as long as they are on topic. Right. So, transitioning back into real life after vacation. What's on your mind?
One, it's the worst. So really, it's I think for me, it starts almost like a couple days as you know the vacation's ending. So like say it's a 5-day vacation, right? You finally relax out, we're finally here, day one, then you settle in day 2, 3, day 4, you're like, man, let's go out with a bang, and then day
Time
5,
to
you're like,
unpack.
oh, right. Well, yeah. So it's like it's coming down from that, man, we just did all this stuff and now we're back, right? So it's not the worst. Let's put that in perspective. It's just uh I would always prefer, well, most of the time I prefer that it's a little longer, the vacation. But and second, I wish that everything would just put away itself and all the laundry would be washed when we get back. Um So that's just my first reaction of this, is just wishing that it could all take care of itself. One, it's because of the time suck, and two, it would just be easier to just transition if you didn't have to put everything away and unload the car.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you typically take time off from work after your vacation to reacclimate?
Depends on how, well, it depends on two things. One, if we're in school or my daughter has another thing. Um, and two, how long the vacation is, right? I'm all for it, but if I'm gonna stay home from work and then still have to and still not be able to relax, then it might not even be worth it. Um,
I see.
to
So
take the day off, if that makes sense.
I got you. I don't see it as so much an extra day to relax, but again, I see it as a day, sometimes two, to reacclimate, right? And
Mhm.
that looks like you said, getting all the laundry done, right? Making sure it's all folded, put it away, hung, whatever the case may be. Like, if I don't do that and I hop right back into work, a lot of that's not getting done as fast as I would like it to,
Oh, that's
right?
a good point.
You know what I mean? So my wife just started a new job this year, so she doesn't have vacation time like I do. Therefore, those responsibilities will fall on my shoulders. Um, or if I wanted to be a man, not about nothing, um, I could let her handle it. But again, like, it would take far too long and be far too stressful for her to have to come home and do all those things with no assistance. So because I have the time and because I don't mind, I want to be that type of husband that helps out and participates in the home duties. Um, I feel like it is beneficial for me to take that time, and usually it's about a day, right? Just to get all those things done, you know, and not have to think about it for a week after vacation. Like that's just too much, man. Too much.
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it more as like a recovery time. But
Yeah,
in essence, that is recovery.
a piece of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, maybe I'll do that. I like where you're going with that. Yeah.
Now, is a piece of this for you reacclimating to going back to work as well?
Um, well, a piece of it is normally I don't get to vacation my ideal way on vacation.
Okay, explain
Um,
that.
so a lot of times we go to a beach, it's hot, we're outside a bunch, which is not my ideal. Like I would like to be somewhere not as hot with a book or in kind of my mind space just to be able to like woosah. But normally it's a go, go, go. We've kind of pulled that back. I think my wife has heard me say those things. So we've been less regimented and scheduled on vacations, but that's kind of new for us. So my history is it's a lot of going and trying to do all the things and make the most air quotes out of the vacation. Um, so usually it'd be like, okay, let me just sit and be and kind of have a de-stressing um of what I how I would like to quote unquote vacation. Cause, my wife and you I think are very similar. Like you're very like you guys would be the ones to plan it and have the things go and like be the spearhead of what's going on. So like and that's kind of your personality. Um while I'm a little bit more like, I could chill, you know. Um so I would in my mind it's like justifying, okay, everyone else got to vacation, like let me chill. So it's kind of a selfish thing for me. Um when I can take it to kind of just do that.
Yeah. I think we are probably more similar than you think because I, on vacation, definitely want to just chill. Um, Now, if we are going to plan something, then I want it to be very much regimented. So I know when
Yeah.
I need to be there, when it's going to end, when I can get back to chilling.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Right. Um, and it's on vacation. I think that is the stressful part for me outside of driving to wherever we're going.
Hmm.
Um, and I find that piece of it stressful, the driving piece, because I like to be focused on that task. And, kids are always wanting something, this, that, and the third. Katie wants to talk to me about this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, bruh, I've tried to be better at it. And I think that's another transition for me. I'm trying to be more fluid with the way I interact with them in that scenario, but it is still a struggle for me because my attention needs to be where my attention needs to be, and
Hmm.
I've seen too many instances of that going wrong. So I am not in too much of a hurry to change that.
Yeah, I feel that. So how do you so you get back after vacation, you take a day off to do, the things that you need to. How does your communication with your wife work when you're transitioning back?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it needs to be is what do we need to do and how are these duties going to be split up, right? When do you have time to do what you need to do? Um, and I can see it being different for other folks, but like I've already explained, I almost always take at least one day off from work after we get back. Therefore, I have all of that time during the day to do most of the things, right? What I've come to understand with my wife is, you know, I need to ask her, "Hey, when you wanna go restock the fridge?" And, allow her that time to do that. Um, do you are there any, and gentlemen, pro tip, ask your wife, are there any self-care things you need to do, get done, and offer her the time to do that as well.
That's game right there. Free
Look,
game.
look, I'm putting y'all on game. And then when she comes back from said self-care, lean into complimenting her on whatever that self-care was. Was it her nails? Was it her hair? Even if to you it seems like a mundane thing, lean into complimenting her on whatever it was. Take that for what it is.
Pro tip for sure.
All right. But the communication piece is just making sure that all of the bases are covered, right? Um, you may have an idea of, X, Y, and Z need to get done. And your wife's perspective might be double X, double Y, and double Z. Right.
Right.
And so if you only do one X and double X needed to get done, the job's only half done, right? Um, so allowing her input and not taking offense to her perspective being different on maybe not so much how something gets done, but what it looks like for that task to go from A to Z, right? Like what does completeness of this task look like in your world? All right. So just
That's good.
full example, hey, we got to get the laundry done. You can say that to me, and my perception of done is in the washer, out of the washer, into the dryer, into the basket. That load of laundry done. Her perception of it is that comes out of the basket. It's folded. It's put in the dressers. Right.
Right.
So if only X got done, not double X, she comes home. She's like, "Hey, did you get everything done?" Yes, I did. "What- Why is it still in the basket?" Like, what you mean? You asked me to do the laundry.
Listen, that
Done.
that that's real right there. Yeah. That's a good example
Yeah.
for sure.
So, expressing your expectations. And we talk about it quite a bit on the podcast. Now, what I will also say, if you're like me and you take that time off from work after vacation, and you, on the other hand, have some self care things that you want to get done, round of golf, haircut, whatever the case may be, make sure you communicate those expectations as well to allow your wife the ability to set aside that time for you and have it not be a surprise.
Right. Where were you for the last 4 hours? Just played around the golf.
Yeah.
Heard you. Got it.
Right, right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Thank you. Yeah, that pro tip for sure. Make sure you all the way to completion. Those expectations are being met. Very important. How do you debrief the vacation, or when do you, or do you?
Let me think about that for a second. So, give me a little bit more context about what you mean by debrief.
Really talk about, I think a way to transition it is to actually have a conversation about the vacation,
Okay,
right? Like, even if it's whatever works for you,
I
like,
got
is it what you like, what you didn't like, what you do, what's something you want to do differently? Are we going to go back here? If it's our normal spot, did we hit the normal things? Did we try the new thing that we wanted to do? Were expectations met? Were they not met? Did we have expectations? Next time, do we want to do something different?
you.
Kind of that, have a full, how did it go type of
I got you.
deal.
I got you. So, I think a lot of that happens for us up front before we even get there, right? Um, what are the things that are non-negotiable that we're going to do, right? And for us, that is the number one thing is school shopping on the day we're leaving, which I used to get a little upset about because it was just long. It was at the end of the day, and we don't get home till 10 o'clock at night. And I'm the one who does all the driving. So, like, are you considering me here? But I wasn't saying that. Again, communicating
Mm,
the expectation, right?
right, right.
Um, so that's one of the things that we will do up front. We just know that's going to happen. That's a thing. All right, fine. I'm settled into that life now. Um, what I would also say is, what restaurants are we going to try to eat at? Um, Another pro tip, if you can, man, make your reservations before you even get there for whatever days you want to eat at whatever restaurant. There was one restaurant that we had eaten at before, but we weren't familiar enough with it to know what their policy was. This restaurant does not take reservations. Okay. And it is more or less they either have open seating when you get there or they take your name at that time, give you a wait time, say 45 minutes, and then they will text you when your table's ready. If you're not there within 10 minutes, your table's gone. All right. So this restaurant in particular, we tried to get there. Day one didn't work. Day two, I tried. We got back from the beach. Everybody has to get showered and all that, right? I go down to the restaurant because it was within walking distance, only a block away. Put my name in. All right, cool. They said it could be 45 minutes. That's the time we're going to give you, but it could also be 35 minutes or 55 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes. We don't really know. When we text you, be ready. So they text us
It's
in
wild.
35 minutes. We had no time to get down there and had to cancel the reservation. But again, I digress. Pro tip: use like a platform like OpenTable or something like that, and plan ahead. Um, we typically like to have the children have input into what we do as well, right? We have our core things that we do. There's like a little amusement park that we go to. They like to do mini golf. This year we went to a different mini golf place, but asked the kids, "Hey, do you want to try something different? We're still gonna go mini golf, but you know, let's try something a little bit bigger, a little bit more elaborate." They were all about it. Cool. Can I tell you that my mother-in-law almost beat me?
Whoa.
I think she was only like maybe 3 to 5 strokes off of my score. And she kept saying, "Oh no, go ahead, go first, go first." And she was just watching what I was doing, and then like she must have had like 3 hole-in-ones off of
Mm,
watching what my ball did. Man, again, I digress, but mm.
we feeling a little tight. Shirt getting a
Yeah,
little
like,
tight right there.
yeah.
Okay, I see it.
Uh,
Shout out to mother-in-law right here,
yeah,
keeping them honest for sure. Um, yeah. So my question was a little bit different, right? Because I know you do that up front, and we do as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
So the
yes.
debrief is
Right,
coming back to that afterwards and saying, "Did we do all the things that we wanted to do, and how did that affect us?"
right. What I was going to say is it looks a little bit different for us because we do so much prep up front. All right. So on the back end, on the debrief, what that usually looks like to us is maybe there's one thing that we didn't get to do. All right. And for us, it was that one restaurant. But I think that was more or less out of our control. So there was no hurt feelings, no tears, no, being mad at each other that somebody dropped the ball.
Right.
Right. Um, our debrief looks a lot like sitting down together and reviewing the photographs.
Mm,
Okay.
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I think what that does for us is lets us relive in a short time after the um, vacation what we did. It shows us what we're uh, what we accomplished, what we're capable of, right? Um, gives her an opportunity to say, "Oh, these are the pictures I want to get printed. This is what I'm going to post on social media, all that," right?
Hmm.
But I think within that, just looking at those specific memories allows us the room to just discuss, hey, this is what happened. Oh, this is really fun. We should do this again next year. So that's what our debrief is like. Uh,
Man, I love that. I think I wanna take that.
it's good, man.
Yeah,
It's good.
the pictures, because right, we take the pictures for the memories. That's what I've come to that in the last couple years. It's like the vacation is the vacation, but it's really the memories of the vacation that you keep,
Right.
right? The experience is what it is, but it's how do we keep those, like the memory of that experience. So even if there's a thing that I don't want to do or I'm tight about something, it's like, man, like let's just make the memory,
Yeah.
you know, and let's do that. So that's a good, and that's like immediate gratification of, oh yeah, this is this, and that kind of solidifies the memory as well.
Yeah. And
So
you just gave me the idea as well, because typically we'll just do that on both of our phones. What would be what would step it up even more is casting it to the TV.
yeah, yep. That's what
That'd
I
be
thought
nice.
about. It's just like
Yeah,
sitting on
yeah,
the couch and casting it and just like walking through it. And such a good idea.
yeah.
And that's like a slow transitioning back, right?
Mhm.
Like it's over, but it's not over.
Right,
So
right, right.
you get to do it from the comfort of your own space,
Yep.
which is always nice.
Yeah,
So pro tip, take your pictures out, go through what you did, talk about what you liked and what you didn't like, and
yeah.
that'll probably be a good way to debrief. And then get you back to your world, right? Because it's the piece of where you were, the reality of we're back, and then we move on. So that's good. Yeah, because most of what we do is just it's a conversation of, all right, let's just talk about it. Like, what you didn't like, how'd you feel about it? Um, but I think adding the pictures and it kind of chronologically documents the vacation all over again
Yeah,
because
and
it's all dated.
man, let me tell you, my wife lights up when she gets to look through the pictures,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, that fulfills her, and I love seeing it.
Yeah. Pro tip, take a lot of pictures.
Yeah, and that's usually her, um, 'cause she gets all the perspectives, man. It's
Yeah.
cool seeing, like, pictures
Hmm.
she sneaks in of me and the kids, our backs turned to her, we're, holding hands, walking from her or whatever. Um, but what I would say is do that for her as well.
Hmm.
Because not only is it something to look at right after the vacation, is it something, that you can put in a frame or whatever, but think about legacy and the people or children in your family that you won't have an opportunity to meet.
Hmm.
Okay. Providing contextual evidence of who you were as a person.
Yeah. What before you even said that, as you were talking about that, and it was like, yeah, I don't take as many, but I try to take good ones, like what you explained.
Yeah.
We were at Lake Erie. Crystal's sister was living up there, so we went up. But her mom was also there as well, and this was probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 or 4. But Bella was there, and I caught Crystal, Bella, and her mom all looking out into the water, and I
Nice.
caught it, and I black and whited it, and it was just like, man, we now have this moment because you never know what's going to happen, and Bella will always, even if she doesn't have the memory, she has the memory,
Right.
right? Of them being in the water. They're water people. They love it. So yeah, I just co-sign that wholeheartedly. Try to find those moments. And if you take a lot more, you tend to find those moments. You can seek them, but also sometimes they just happen really
Right.
well. So,
And
but yeah,
yeah, man. I think that's all I have to say about that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it all comes down again, right? Transition, set expectations before. How do we meet those expectations? Um, come like as we're home, then set it up for the trip, debrief about it, talk about it over your pictures, and just keep communing together
Yes.
about these things as a unit, as husband and wife, and that really allows you to transition through anything in life, but specifically as we're talking. this vacation transition.
Yeah, and it'll allow you to build better vacations as well.
Mm,
Don't be afraid to set new expectations,
yeah.
and we always talk about growth. Like, you could grow within the vacation space, right? Like, man, maybe we need to try something new next year,
Hmm.
maybe a different type of vacation. Talk to friends and family about things that they're experiencing, and then talk about a plan on how to get there.
Yeah, that's
Now,
so good. But yeah, thank you. Since we're done now, thanks for listening again. If you made it all the way through, this was your first time, welcome. We hope you enjoyed it. If this gave you any value, or please like it, leave a comment um, on this episode wherever you do it, or you can go to search Marriage is Tougher on any social media platform and let us know how you feel like we're doing. You could also go to Marriage is Tougher, our website, marriageistoffer.com, leave a comment. And if you'd like to be a guest, leave a comment about leave your name and your topic you'd like to discuss, and we'll get back to you. Again, thank you so much for making it to the episode, and we will chat with you later.
peace.